Howdy there, folks. You're listening to another exciting episode of You're Not My Father. Coming to you not so live from our studios here in Anchorage, Alaska. Get ready. I'm a podcast superstar.
That's right, people. Yeah!
That was a little bit over the top, but we're going to allow it anyway. Welcome back to another episode of You're Not My Father. Today, you can tell that we're all pumped up and talking through my teeth like this. Yes, we're going to be talking about how to deal with difficult people. Something that probably everybody wants to know more about. I'm not going to say that I'm the expert, but as the person that's not your father, or maybe I am, too early to tell, we're gonna talk about that. So probably the biggest thing with confronting difficult people is to not do what they are doing. That's the best advice you can start off with. If you are hostile to somebody else that's hostile, it's kind of like two dogs barking at each other that are about to fight. That just doesn't work out. Now, if you're looking at your family pets and you're wondering how they get along, typically you'll see somebody, kind of like the alpha dog, start barking or whatever. And maybe not always, but you'll see one animal be the aggressor and one will kind of be docile and roll over and kind of be cool and just be like, hey, man, whatever. We're all good. And that's generally how it works. So aggression is typically met with aggression, but meeting somebody with the opposite emotions kind of takes them off guard a little bit. Maybe you've seen some things where people have done a little crazy thing. I saw the most recent Marvel movie, Shang-Chi, and I forget what the Aquafina was saying, that she would start singing Hotel California to diffuse the situation. Really a great trick. So today I had somebody in the office come in that, had some confrontations with before. I was just getting off a call and I step out of my office and lo and behold, that person is right there in front of me. And, for an awkward moment, that wasn't too awkward. It was only a slight moment. We just kind of jumped right into it. Kind of how I would greet anybody else, the past is the past, whatever. Just, how are you? How's it going? Elements of truth, whatever. And any hostility, any past stuff was just kind of gone. And, admittedly so, we're kind of acting like adults. So, it was definitely a good thing. Relationships in general are definitely a challenge. But being hostile towards each other is definitely an issue. And I think that's something that, relationships in general can learn to listen with. If you're going to meet somebody or even be hostile towards somebody, it can provoke a reaction. It can provoke a reaction of somebody being hostile back to you. So the saying of, you'll catch a whole lot more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Yeah, it's kind of true. Be the sweetheart, be the good person. Put pride and ego to the side. You don't have to be the alpha male. You don't have to be the top dog always. Winning is not being the person who yells the loudest or the person that gets the final say. Winning is really about what your objectives are. So if your whole point of talking with somebody or interacting with somebody is really to, I don't know, maybe you just want to survive, or maybe you ultimately want to help, being in that type of mind frame of, how do I get to that point? Put the pride and all the other stuff aside and really get to the heart of the matter. That's really where you have to go. I've seen people argue, and it's kind of like the typical movie scene where somebody's says something to somebody, insults somebody, and then they trade insults. And where's that going to go? It's not really going to go anywhere. I think for kids and even adults, trading insults is almost kind of like a way of life. You know, that's just what you do. Whenever somebody gets mean and nasty in your face and that type of thing. But it really takes a lot more control of your person to be able to not meet violence with violence or meet hostility with hostility. And sometimes you might even find that some people are hostile, and they're not really bad people. They're not the people that you would think that they are. Some people just act that way. And then you come to find out, well, hey, you know, they're really not a bad person after all. I've met quite a few people over the years who come off as mean, rude, nasty, or just overly aggressive. And then you find out, you know, hey, you know, they're kind of a teddy bear. You know, they're a sweet person after all. It's the cover of the book does not match the print on the pages. And you should totally look into practicing that. It's definitely a technique. I'm not going to say that you're going to go into it and master it right away, but I think from a Star Trek perspective, from a Vulcan type of mindset, you know, not letting emotion cloud you. And that's really kind of what it is. It's an emotional response that's trying to overcome, you know, your logic. Somebody's yelling at you. What do? You start yelling back. That's most people's response. It's an emotional thing. It's like a fight or flight scenario. It's like either I'm going to fight or I'm going to run away. And some people do that. Some people walk away from that scenario. In some cases, that might be the better thing to do. And a lot of times, walking away is better. Certainly not running away. You know, we talk about animals and, you know, animal behavior. If two dogs are squaring off on each other, the other one doesn't run away because the other one's going to give chase, come after them. Bad things are going to happen. And yeah, so maybe it's dog psychology. Maybe it's something else, but you have to be kind of cognizant of where you're at in that situation. So if you're going to ask me, well, what if I fail? Well, so what? You know, what if you fail? It's okay. You know, you've got time. You've got experiences to live. You'll learn from those types of things. You know, if you fail and you end up yelling and screaming at them as well, and maybe you guys get into a fight, well, learn from that mistake. You know, you come out of that and you're like, okay, well, maybe I could have done something different. Maybe I could have done something better. Or, you know, maybe you really truly understand, well, gee, that didn't work so well. You know, he yelled at me, I yelled back at him, and next thing you know, we're fighting each other and we're getting expelled from school and we're sitting at home. That sort of thing happened to me. The last big physical confrontation I was in high school. And I didn't really think that anybody really meant to do it. I don't know how it actually happened. It probably was a play thing and probably turned into, you know, violence and fisticuffs because of what was kind of going on. And so that violence meets violence. You know, somebody hits me, I'm going to hit you, and round and around we go. And that's exactly what happened. But at the end of the day, I kind of came out with, you know, having a respect for that person, not because they hit me, but because, you know, we kind of saw past, you know, the cover of the issue. The other important thing to note here is winning a fight is, again, you know, it's subjective to what you define winning as. Now, my daughter, Sophia, she's 11 now. She's a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I don't really want her to ever have to fight. If she has to, great. She has that skill set to be able to deal with it. She has a tool in her toolbox to be able to hopefully deal with that scenario if somebody is causing her violence, that she has to defend herself and get away. My wife is a black belt in Taekwondo as well. You can imagine all that. Conan is, he's making progress. I certainly have no real martial arts background or training, but I have a lot of martial arts understanding and knowledge. Let's put it this way. All of our end goals are really not to be in the situation in the first place. But if we are, we want to get out without violence. We want to get out of that situation, hopefully with a better understanding of ourselves and not have bad blood or whatnot. But if things go in any particular direction, we want to be prepared. And really, a lot of the things that I will talk about on this podcast, and you've heard me talk about if you're a frequent listener, and if you haven't, like, comment, and subscribe. But is being prepared. Whatever you may feel about the Boy Scouts of America, I was a longtime Boy Scout, and their motto is be prepared. And it's something that I've carried with me for ever since. Being prepared is one of the best things that you can do. So when it comes to violence and confrontations, and circling back full circle to, dealing with confrontational people, bad people that you're not exactly willing to deal with, the best thing you can do is basically tackle it head on. Just jump in it, go for it. Don't run away from it, because that typically just makes people mad. And like I said, they're going to come after you again. It's never really going to go away. But just tackle it head on. Be honest, forthright about it. Don't meet aggression with aggression. See what it is that is really the problem. Honestly, see what you can do to help. And if helping is not available, is not something that you can do, because certainly there's just situations where you just can't help, or maybe it's not prudent for you to help. Just walk away. You've done what you can, and you can't do any more. Walk away. And that's some of the best fatherly advice I can give you on something like that. Now, just like with martial arts, I won't belabor the point, but you have to practice. You have to keep doing it. So at some point, you're going to be like, well, I don't want to do that anymore. That's true. Well, son, daughter, person, we all don't want to have to deal with it. But walking away from those scenarios, having done it, you have that knowledge and that experience. And you can use that experience and that knowledge for the next one, because it'll keep happening. As long as you're alive, you're going to deal with confrontational people, and you just kind of have to deal with it. So become better at dealing with it, and you're going to be less afraid of the everyday people. Maybe you're an introvert. You don't really like having to deal with people or work with people. Getting yourself out there and understanding it and being a part of it is how you get past it. Now, me, I can be good at that type of stuff. I'm both an introvert and an extrovert. I kind of shift gears. Some days I just don't want to be around people. I would rather just kind of chill out and relax and, just kind of be at one with myself. And other times, I really desire that social interaction. I want to be out there and be involved. But a lot of times I kind of feel more introverted, but it's a balancing act. It really is. So you have to find that balance within yourself, but having that skill definitely pays off. So with that, we're going to cut this episode short. It's going to be a short one, all things considered. Sometimes we run long, sometimes we run short, but this time around, it's going to be short. One more final update on the COVID realm. we're all feeling a lot better. I'm feeling probably 85, 90%, back to normal. I still feel a little weak in some aspects, strength wise and endurance, but it's coming back. Gatorade, Gatorade, not a sponsor, has been really helping here in the past week. I think my body has needed more hydration, more electrolytes. Brondo, it's got electrolytes. Yeah, definitely helped. So yeah, we're feeling good, feeling fine, and ready to get back into everything that's going on. At some point, I think we're going to be flying in October, and so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Certainly, we're probably ready for COVID, and if it happens to us again, well, I think our bodies will be okay. But you guys, how are you doing? Leave us a comment. Let us know what's going on in your mind. How are you guys dealing with COVID? We would love to hear any comments or suggestions of particular topics that you would like to hear us tackle as far as a father. Ask your father, who's not your father, any question that you can think of that you need advice on. Happy to tackle it. Doesn't really matter. Hopefully, doesn't matter how taboo it is, but we really we want to help people succeed. And if you got a serious problem, we've got some serious answers. And if you've got a funny question that is PG and we can tackle, we're happy to do that too. But you guys have fun, stay safe, be careful, and remember to laugh, smile, laugh some more. I said laughing twice. Why is that? Because I like laughing.